What's going on, everyone? So Jarred Vanderbilt, right? He is a bit of a weird situation, right? A lot of talks about should we trade him, should we not trade him, right? And he's one of the guys that I don't necessarily want to trade, right? Because yes, offensively, he's struggled, right? Shooting the basketball. I mean, I figured he'd be bad. Talked about it in the offseason, right? His shot changed, quicker release. He's at least shooting it, so he at least is confident enough to get the shot up. And I thought, and it still could, we're still early in the season, but I thought, hey, give it some time. He just needs in-game reps. Right? Once he starts getting the in-game reps, I think he'll start to see the bottom of the net a little more. But I also thought he'd make the occasional. He's like, one of 11 or something like that so far on the season. So he's not taking a ton of volume of it. So that could also be why, too, he's not getting enough shots and enough reps up to really find a rhythm. But regardless, he's a liability shooting the basketball. But he does so much for this team. I mean, the guy had an 18 rebound game the other night. Top having an 18 rebound game. This guy is one of the better rebounders on the team, period. He's one of the few athletes that we have on this team with his athleticism, his defensive capability, his ability to just defend 1 through 5 on many nights, really, and just impact the game in so many ways beyond the box score, right? Like, he's not a guy you want playing 30 minutes a night or anything like that. He's a guy that ideally you want in kind of these bursts, these little spots, right? Little 5-minute doses. He's playing maybe 20 minutes, 18, 20 minutes total, but he's playing in like 4 or 5-minute little hits each quarter. So he can kind of just focus, hone in, and just give 110% nonstop. He exerts a lot of energy, but he is so fun to watch. And he does contribute offensively in several ways, right? He is scoring the basketball around the rim. He has been better at finishing around the rim, which is good. That was something else that he really needed to work on. Catching the ball, finishing at the rim. His hands, right, was a big problem. He had butterfingers and stuff like that. He's done a much better job with that in that regard. But to me, no one's untradeable, right? Like, there's really only like 2-3 guys in the entire league that are truly untradeable, right? So to me, if you're going to trade Jared Vanderbilt, which again, he's towards the bottom of my list, and he's also not making a ton of money. He's making, $10 million a year, right? Which, yeah, you could argue if he was around 8 or something like that, is he slightly overpaid? Maybe, but I think it's, semantics, right? I don't think he's not, if he was making like 15 to 17 million, I'd be like, yeah, they're going to have to get off of him, right? But him at 10 million, I think it's fine. There's a lot of teams that would love to have Jarred Vanderbilt. So I do think he would have a market, right? Because he's shown he can be healthy. He's been much healthier since that injury issue, right? So he's a guy that, again, can impact the game. If you have a team that has the offense and the shooting and things like that, getting a guy like Jarred Vanderbilt who just gives you the rebounding and the hustle and the defense and all those things can be very valuable. If the Lakers had several two-way guys, if the Lakers had everything they needed and Jarred Vanderbilt was kind of just like, hey, he's that icing on that cake or the cherry on top, right? He's a guy that just gives us that other body that we can throw out there and deploy, in little bursts, right? Then I'd be like, no, absolutely not. Keep him, right? But the Lakers do have several needs. But here's the thing. Lakers need several guys, right? Like I've talked about. You know what the Lakers could use another one of? Jarred Vanderbilt, right? Like if a dude Thero gets healthy and comes back, you're hoping, even if he doesn't give you the offensive side of things, can he just do some of the things that Vando does? The rebounding, the hustle plays, the dirty work, the defense out on the perimeter, all of that. Because Lakers could desperately use another Vando. Lakers need two-way players and capability, but just athleticism alone would do wonders for this Lakers team. And I mean wonders. So adding a guy like a dude Thero, I do think helps a ton. Look at how much of an impact Bronny James has had recently in these handful of games that he's gotten to play. A lot of that, again, is just his athleticism. It's just his defense, his on-ball pressure, his ability to defend out on the perimeter. He's still not quite, he's still a year or two away from being a high-end rotation guy, a real kind of key contributing piece. But given the situation that he's been thrusted in, he's been fantastic, right? He's been what you wanted him to be in the type of role that you're asking him to play, so on and so forth. He's been great in that job, so I do think Bronny deserves his flowers for that. But as far as being that two-way guy, you're seeing him get to his spots, right? But he just doesn't have the touch yet. Once he gets the touch, he doesn't have bad shots. Just, again, it's finding that touch, that shooter's touch. Right? Once he gets that, watch out. Teams are going to be in trouble because he has the defense, he has the athleticism, he has the finishing capability, he has the IQ and passing ability of his father. Right? He has a lot of the things that you want to see. And saw it alongside Luka Doncic or an Austin Reeves on any given night is a guy that could have a real impact. But Jarred Vanderbilt, right, to get back on that, you see like just when they're out there, good things usually tend to happen, right? Like Jarred Vanderbilt, Jake LaRavia, and Marcus Smart are like a plus 25 or something when they're on the court together because, again, they're your best defensive players and the impact that they bring. All things like Marcus Smart isn't this like great offensive player. I mean, he's better than Jarred Vanderbilt, but he's not some guy that's shooting 40% from 3-point range, doing all that stuff. But he makes so many winning plays and impact plays that he can be a difference maker. Same thing with Jarred Vanderbilt. But I don't want to see, like, I don't want the Lakers to go and trade for, say an Andrew Wiggins. Just use him as an example. It's just easier, right? I don't want to see the Lakers go and trade for an Andrew Wiggins while losing Jarred Vanderbilt because I think you still need another guy. Now you might have the pieces in order to do that, but if the Lakers can get guys, like let's say the Lakers, trade for a Jarred Vanderbilt or an Andrew Wiggins, right? And you can then trade for like Matisse Thybulle or something like that, right? Or, a Max Christie, right? I'd love to get Max Christie, just kind of throw that out there into the universe, right? Like, let's say you could do something like that. You go and you trade for an Andrew Wiggins for now kind of the short term, right? These next 2 seasons. Max Christie you get back for the long term. I'm just, again, kind of just using Max Christie as an example, right? So, like, if you could do something like that, then yes, I'd be willing to trade Jarred Vanderbilt, right? So, like, let's say you could go pull off an Andrew Wiggins trade, and then you could go trade for Max Christie and something else, right? And, maybe you're giving up your first or whatever. Like, and you have to include Jarred Vanderbilt in that trade. Fine, no problems. Because now you got a guy that now solves your need, right? And then Andrew Wiggins that could be your starter. But then now you also got a guy that is a better two-way guy that, yes, he's not as big, long, and lengthy as Jarred Vanderbilt, might not even be as good defensively and rebound. I mean, Jarred Vanderbilt's elite rebounder, but he's giving you the two-way capability. He's giving you the floor space. He's giving you the shooting. He's giving you the defense. He's still a very good defensive player, right? And he's giving you the upside and potential and all that stuff. So there's factors that go into it, but you also already got your kind of starting level guy. So it's like, how much are you playing Jarred Vanderbilt over Andrew Wiggins and Max Christie? Probably not very much. So I'm not against trading Jarred Vanderbilt, but like I said, he would be lower on my kind of trade totem pole, right? If I had, to list out guys, he's closer to, again, he's probably like 4th or 5th on that list of guys that I'd be willing to trade. A handful of guys that I would trade before that. Just because, again, you don't have anybody that can replace Jarred Vanderbilt, right? Like, if even Rui Hachimura, I love Rui, Lakers have enough offense. Lakers are putting up like 120 points a night without LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and some nights LeBron James, Austin Reeves, and Luka Doncic, right? Like, Lakers have no issues scoring the basketball. The Atlanta game, you might feel otherwise, but for the most part, right, Lakers have done a really good job of putting the ball into the hoop. That's the least of their concerns, right? So Rui Hachimura, if you lost him for a two-way guy, right, and Andrew Wiggins, it's justifiable because Andrew Wiggins is going to give you some level of offense, but he gives you better athleticism, better defense, right, better versatility that you're not getting from a Rui Hachimura, right? But Jarred Vanderbilt, you don't have that necessary replacement. Now, if you could keep Rui and get an Andrew Wiggins by trading a Jarred Vanderbilt, then, could that be a conversation? Sure, but then you just basically upgraded Jarred Vanderbilt, but you still have a need at that athleticism position, particularly off the bench. And you know what I mean? So it's just like, I like Jarred Vanderbilt. I don't think he's untradeable. I don't think he's untouchable, anything like that, but it's hard when he's the exact type of player you need, you're just kind of praying that he can figure out his shooting, right? And I'm not even talking about elite shooting. Like he's only like if he could just be 34% from 3-point range would be all the difference for this Lakers team, right? Like give me a 34% from 3 Jarred Vanderbilt, and this team would look like a completely different team because now you have, again, his floor space. And yes, teams are still going to kind of leave him open because you're going to have to pick your poison, but at least at 34%, he's making them pay enough, and he's still going to score, periodically, around the rim and getting putbacks and all that other stuff. And then the rebounding, the hustle plays and all that stuff. It's really hard to replace him when he's one of the few guys that you have that does so much of the dirty work, right? Lakers need as many of those dirty work guys as possible because you have LeBron James, Luka Doncic, and Austin Reeves, who are going to be your offensive engine, who are going to put, that are going to be the driving force offensively and be able to put up the numbers that you need. You need the scrappy guys. You need the guys around Luka, LeBron, and Austin Reeves that can rebound and defend and, chase down loose balls and dive for loose balls and have the impact plays in other areas. And that's what Jarred Vanderbilt brings. But anyway, as always, this is a discussion. I pass a question to you. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me out. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe channel, hit that subscribe button. Turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.